I'd like to introduce Danielle Sharaf. Danielle is the founder of Switch, a mobile solutions company that produces content-rich SMS, IVR, which is interactive voice response, and digital solutions for mobile users in emerging markets. Danielle?
Thank you so much, Stephanie. So, what does inequality look like in a country like Pakistan? It looks like a woman who puts up with domestic abuse day in and day out because she doesn't know any better. It also looks like a perfectly qualified yet unemployed youth sitting in rural Punjab who doesn't have access to decent work opportunities, even when they exist out there. Or as in my case, it looked like the belief that I could be relegated to a life of discrimination or even persecution just because I was born on the wrong side of a religious divide. In 2011, when I started Switch, a company that specializes in creating text and audio apps for non-smartphone users in developing markets, these are but a few of the inequalities I hoped to fight through mobile technology. Wondering how? Through the power of information and connectivity. No matter who you are, where you're from, what social strata you come from, if you know how to dial a number or type a text message, you can use any of our services. No Wi-Fi or internet required. In Pakistan, that means the primary mode of connectivity for 61% of the population. That's over 120 million people who do not have access to the internet. Surprising, right? It shouldn't be. Unfortunately, the picture is not much different for most low to middle income developing countries. And that, my friends, is more than half of the world's population that we're leaving behind because of a digital divide. Think about that. I started Switch in hope that in some way I could level the playing field for such communities. People who are born on the other side of divides and who don't always get a first pick at life's choices. And I think our work has proven that it can be done, sometimes through the simplest of technologies. Today, our services are empowering girls make smarter health choices, connecting job seekers to decent work opportunities, educating farmers on innovative crop management, and helping students discover new and affordable ways of learning. 17 million of them. But we don't want to stop here. With your help today, we want to take this change even further. Through our new healthcare product, Zoya, we hope to reach over 5 million young girls in Pakistan who otherwise do not have access to healthcare information and too often lose their lives to preventable diseases. We want to give them a fighting chance through this very same power of information and connectivity, or as we like to call it at Switch, through the power of mobile for change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Danielle. If any of our experts have questions, please unmute. I see Suzanne has a question. We'll start with you and then go to Cheryl. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Sure, I'll kick it off. Thanks. It's an incredible vision, and you're right, it impacts so many people around the world. I'm just wondering the mechanics a little bit of, are you accessing a cellular network? How do they download the app at the first time? And then second, how many users do you currently have?
So like I said, for our non-smartphone services that we have 12, we do access the carrier networks. We partner with carriers in Pakistan that are 4 carriers. We partner with all of them. And through them, we basically promote our text and audio services, right? So the users subscribe, we work on a subscription model for them. For Zoya in particular, it is, we've basically offshot to a smartphone app that is available on Android right now. In fact, we launched Zoya during the COVID crisis, right? So that's how it works. Right now, as of now, I said we have 17 million users. Of that, 80% are active users, right? So these are 17 million Pakistanis. Like I said, 80% of them are like active users month in, month out.
Cheryl, you had a question?
Yes, I'm particularly interested in the Zoya app and wanted to better understand how is content being selected and how are you making sure that that content is curated, so not only are people getting the advice, but they're getting the advice that will help them, as opposed to maybe some misinformation?
Right, that's a fantastic question. So because it is a very, female healthcare is a stigma in Pakistan, like, most of the developing world. So we're very careful about what sort of content we promote and what the tone around it, right? So most of the medical content is actually sourced from doctors, right? And then we have a team of experts, script developers, right? If we see that an animation needs to be created, then the script writers would do like a script and an animation would be created. If we see like a cartoon needs to be created or a movie needs to be created. So that's how the content is actually, we design the content and we stylize it in a way that whoever the gatekeepers for these girls or women are, they're not offended by it.
Okay, thank you.
Danielle, thank you so much for your presentation.